All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today at Kansas City Strength and Conditioning Rehab Facility. Matt contacted me through Instagram and wanted to network and help me as a first responder and golfer. We're going to do a golfing assessment, physical assessment, and I'll introduce him here shortly so you can have him explain what he's going to do. So looking forward to this, especially for a senior golfer, senior firefighter. Something might help me be stronger for both. So anyway, thanks for watching. Let's get right into it. All right, welcome back to the channel here, Firefighter Golf. Steve Pope here. I'm here with Matt. Matt, I want you to explain your facility here and what you do.
Yeah, we're in Western Shawnee. The facility is Kansas City Strength Conditioning. We have multiple things in our clinic. So we have physical therapy, chiropractic, coaching, strength conditioning. So we actually have about 11,000 square feet. If you pan the camera around, you can see we have this whole space here with strength conditioning. So what we do here is we wanted to build an integration practice to where we can have everything in one place for our athletes and our adult clients.
Okay.
So if for some reason you have pain, we can solve that issue with our physical therapy and chiropractic clinic.
Okay.
If it's, hey, I'm done with pain, but I want to get stronger, we have strength conditioning, small group fitness.
Okay.
So our goal here was to be able to provide our community with everything in one house where we all communicate well.
Okay, and what's your role here?
So my role is I'm the head physical therapist. So my main role here is managing KC Rehab Clinic, which is our physical therapy insurance practice. And I do all the assessments on every client that walks in the door. So if you want to work out here, you have to have an assessment with a physical therapist.
And we're going to go through that today.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for you as a golfer, I'm going to go through our baseline assessment that I do with anybody. And then we're doing our higher level golf assessment, which includes the Titleist Performance Institute screen.
And you're certified in that as well?
Yeah,
so.
Yep, I have certification for power level 2, medical level 2, and junior level 2 for that.
How can we relate what we're going to do today with also my profession? Mm-hmm. The injuries, the physical strength it takes to do that profession, as well as the mental health side of it, because that's what the channel's about. So.
Yeah, so one of the benefits of doing, let's say, a golf assessment with us is that I'm not just a fitness specialist, I am a medical provider as well.
Okay.
So we go through early on, we do a medical screen, we do a physical screen to make sure everything's working properly. We also work on breathing, so we work on fight or flight, rest and digest type exercises to where we can teach someone that's in a pattern that's more tense to calm down. And golf is a good sport for that. You know, like that's why you started the channel with golf, I know, is kind of how do you get those two things to help each other.
Right, I'm looking forward to the breathing part then, so maybe that can help calm me down. We'll see.
If you look at meditation, you know, deep breathing can help relax the system. So
kind of like yoga stuff?
Yeah, so we've got exercises for that. And a lot of people don't understand that you can do exercises to help reduce your fight or flight nervous system. So I want to make sure that you're getting some of that today.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to this, to see what we're going through, and then thanks for contacting me through Instagram. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, Steve, so we're going to go through our assessment today, our golf performance assessment, and what we have in front of us now is just your health history. So can you fill me in a little bit on where you are with your injuries?
So I'd say 6-7 years ago now that a roof fell on me at a house fire in on me, and 2 days in the hospital. I still have residual problems with that. So like this morning, a little bit of a headache from sleeping, probably incorrect, but just it comes and goes over time, gives me migraines. And then we talked about that earlier. I pulled my left calf muscle pretty bad, and it still has residual problems, and I've had bone spurs, and now the plantar fasciitis is flaring up on the right foot. So those are my main sciatica.
Okay.
So that's has been a big problem, but it's not so much right now.
Okay.
And so I take cyclobenzaprine to help relax the muscles in the neck.
Okay,
so,
good. So you're kind of managing that. Does it affect your golf game?
At times, yes, it can, especially the sciatica part. And then lately, since May, with this plantar fasciitis, man, there's a couple of times where my whole body was just hurting. So I'm looking forward to see what we assess here and how we can help improve me being a senior golfer and hopefully get me going in the right direction. Yeah,
and for me, as a physical therapist and a performance coach, I'm going to do a baseline screen with you, what I would do for every person that walks in the door here, whether you're an athlete, an adult client, or whatnot, because I want to make sure I check for what I call parking brakes.
Okay.
So if I see anything you can't do well that might be affecting your performance, I'm going to find that on this screen.
Okay.
And then we're going to do our golf performance screen after that, the TPI, Titleist Performance Institute.
Okay.
So that's something that's standard across the industry, but I'm going to add a little bit more for you since you have some aches and pains.
Okay.
Deal?
Sounds good.
So first thing we're going to do is where you can stand right where you are, and I want to see, can you touch your toes? So feet together.
All the way together?
Yep, all the way together. Get down as low as you can. Steve, that's not bad. Good
No.
job.
I've always been pretty flexible, so.
Good. What kind of sports did you play when you were young?
Baseball, the gamut of football and soccer, but I stuck to baseball in high school and soccer, basketball in grade school, but yeah.
Okay, so kind of everything. So
Kinda
general athletic. I think you're a fairly low handicap too, right? So you get to play more golf than me, which I'm jealous about already. So let's step out in the open here a little bit and show me like arms in front of you, just a really nice deep squat.
Okay.
I'm going to watch you from the side here. Does that bother any of those areas of pain?
I can feel it pulling on the sciatica.
Okay.
More than the fascia, none of those issues, but I can feel right in that deeper part,
Yeah.
the sciatica area.
Yeah, and I want the camera to see this too for you. Turn and face that way and do the same thing. Because one thing I noticed with a lot of people is they try to keep too erect of a spine.
Okay.
They're not taught that way. It actually can cause compression. We'll go through that as I assess you more. Because if you're getting compression in that sacroiliac joint, it could be just the way you're using your pelvis as you squat and move.
Okay.
Do you ever have that problem when you're golfing?
As far as
Like the SI symptoms or the sciatica?
Yeah, and I've noticed when I've edited my videos that I've noticed I hunch over more than normal than I felt I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll assess, and you'll let us know that maybe
Yeah.
that's my compensation over the years because I've gotten weaker as I've gotten older, but also just pain and management of that. So
Yeah, when you're in a pain scenario, you can be in what we call the fight or flight response. So in that, we typically go to a rib cage that's rigid. Think of military posture, right?
Okay.
So I go into this more rigid, stable posture, and that doesn't make you a good athlete typically. So if I'm in this alignment, I can't rotate. Or think about like a power
I
lift.
know I've never been in that when I play.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not the way to do it. So
Yeah, exactly.
luckily, me being a high school coach and had many lessons, that I understand that's not the way to.
Exactly.
So
Good.
But I do notice myself. I need to find that middle ground. I think.
Yeah, and that's where this initial assessment will be nice because it's something that we can look at the middle of your body and go, are you in a neutral alignment? Are you in too much extension, too much flexion? Where are we at? Okay.
All right, looking forward
So
to it.
let's go balance on one leg. Let's see how long you can balance for. The other leg goes up 90 degrees. Okay, feel pretty good there?
Yeah.
Okay, switch sides, show me the other side. Good.
This seems to be the harder side, even though it might not look it to you. I can feel my calf and foot working.
Okay.
Because this is my bad side from a car. I forgot to mention that I was in a car wreck like 26 years ago. I've had residual problems up the left side since then. So
that's good to know. Now the real test is I'm going to have you go on your right foot, the better side. Then you have to close your eyes. I'm going to see if you can go 15 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. Always makes it tougher.
It does. Much tougher.
And even though you're,
I can feel the fascia working on that heel.
Yeah. So even though you're in your young 50s and you're classified as a senior golfer, right?
Right.
Like if I see someone in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, which I work on the most with golf performance, is balance is probably one of the most predictable things and the easiest way we can change.
Okay.
A lot of times that's a strength issue, but it could be affecting your ability to shift from side to side too. So I'd be interested in that. I've seen your golf swing on your YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's a good swing. A little long.
It is. It is. I can't take it out of there. I'm like Bubba and John Daly. And
that's okay.
Phil.
I'm the same way. So, all right, I'm a lefty, so I'm Phil.
Okay.
Phil's my guy. Okay, now stand on your left foot,
Same
right
thing.
leg up. Yeah, let's close your eyes, see how you do. So you can feel how much different it is when you take your eyes out of it.
Right.
Right, and you kind of like to fall to that way. Okay.
Right.
So now what I want to see you do, we're going to do one more balance thing. Actually, come on over here. I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and they'll do it. So there's a dandelion on the floor that your viewers can't see right now. Okay. So we're going to do here, the next balance test we're going to do is I'm going to stand somewhere close to this little dandelion on the floor. You're going to stand on your right foot, and you're going to take your left hand and go down and try to touch the floor across your body.
Okay.
And as you come back up, you're going to come all the way upright, then you're going to try to go the other way. I want you that back and forth a couple times. We'll do it both sides. Okay, so let's see how you do with that. Yeah, that's good.
So I noticed you had a little flexion in the leg.
Yep, you can do this however you want to. I purposely don't tell people how to do it because I want to see how you actually do it yourself.
Okay.
Okay, how'd that feel?
I felt the whole leg balanced, struggling to work.
Was one direction harder than the other, more challenging?
I thought it was that way.
Yeah, so which way, what is that direction? That's your backswing.
Right.
As a righty.
Right.
So am I able to load and stabilize? Again, talking about too long of a swing, some people, they think it's everything in their upper body, but it actually could be the lower body not being able to stabilize to give you a point to stop.
Well, it's funny you say that because I do notice during my swing, during the round, maybe when I'm getting a little bit more tired, is I get a little sway.
Yeah.
And I know not to do that. I know to gap the hip and get loaded.
Yeah.
But as you get tired, and especially with my foot problems right now, I'm just getting out there and having fun and trying to play.
That's good. Okay, let's see the left foot.
Okay.
Let's do the same thing. Tell me if this side's more challenging than the other. And you tend to, it's a pretty common pattern you have. Because again, it looked a little easier reaching to your right.
Yeah.
As you reach to your left, you went to the outside of your foot.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yes, I did.
So go back to the right foot and reach with your left hand across. Good. You feel how you like to go to the outside of your foot. So that actually could be a lot of plantar fasciitis and foot pain, and those things are actually because of hip and core instability.
I agree.
So that's what we're going to probably find today, is that something in your hip may not be allowing your foot to stay on the floor correctly.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to check that next. So let's get you on the table here. We're going to go on your back. Okay, so for the next part of our assessment, I'm just going to do some passive testing, see your mobility.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing I want to point out is you look like you're in what I'd call a forward tilt of your pelvis, just lying down. Does this ever bother your low back?
Laying like it is now?
Yeah.
I can feel it on my left side.
What would you do to make it feel more comfortable?
Well,
Okay.
stretch it there.
Now, if you had to stay
If I
on
had
your
to stay
back.
on that side, I lean to that side.
Okay.
Putting pressure on there takes that away for me.
Okay. Now stay
So it's
on.
like sleeping too.
If you bent your knees and put your feet flat, what would that do?
That helps it too, yeah.
Why does that help it?
Flatten out the back.
Thank you. So you're in too far of a forward tilt, I can tell. And that creates pressure there. So now when I do these tests, I'm looking for that.
Okay.
Okay, and I know this for golf. If your pelvis is too far forward, it locks up your hip rotation.
Okay.
And then you have to use something else. So we're going to look for that.
Like we
okay?
kind of talked about where the legs get too involved and sway a little bit.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this leg and just move it around.
Okay.
If you have any trouble with anything, let me know. Got plenty of extra rotation. You're a little stiff here, but you've got enough. Like that's 30 degrees. I want to see 40 to 45. We'll have a standing test for that here in a little bit. I'm going to come around on the other side. And we're going to do the same couple of tests. Yeah, I mean, you're getting kind of right at 45. This side's actually better with internal rotation. You're more balanced on this side, but you're tighter this way on this side, so it's opposite. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you lie on your left side. And I'm going to check how well your hips move side to side. So you're going to bend your knees up in front of it. You're going to take your left hand under your head like you're sleeping on the floor. Perfect. And Steve, I am stronger than I look. Okay, so I'm going to borrow your right leg and move it around.
Okay.
I'm actually going to stabilize you here so you can't move. And I'm really looking for how well your leg goes sideways.
Okay.
Okay. And if it gets stuck somewhere, we'll talk about what this means. So I'm going to take your leg from you, stabilize your pelvis. We're going to go backwards. Good. And then we're going to try to drop it. You feel like you kind of get stuck here. So let your knee try to go down to the table. Good. So it has to go forward to hit the table.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Okay.
So if I keep you in line with you, it gets stuck.
Okay.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's in front of you, it goes down. When it's in line with you, it's stuck. This is another test that confirms this side of your pelvis is too far tilted forward.
I agree.
That's what it tells me.
Okay.
Okay. It's not a flexibility test because your knee hit the table. So I know you're not necessarily tight in your hip sideways. It's more that your pelvis is out of alignment.
Okay.
The way I explain that is you got a parking brake on. You're not moving efficiently because of that. Okay. Now, again, I want to see 45 of this. That's not 45 degrees. Okay. Can you hold your leg here?
Yep.
Does that feel difficult?
Yep.
Yeah. Where do you feel working?
I feel the hip
Yeah, and I can see you try to tense here,
Yep.
and even your neck had to tense.
Yep.
Could you feel that?
Yes, sir.
So there's not very many people that understand sometimes you got tension up here, and it may be because of weakness down here too.
Okay.
Even though you've had an injury. To take all the force off of this, sometimes we have to use this better.
Right,
Okay?
the compensation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's lie on your other side and let's do those same tests. I work with professional baseball pitchers too, and we had 12 of them 3 off seasons ago, and none of them passed these tests.
Okay.
So this does not make you a good athlete or not a good athlete. It really is more of a, are you an efficient athlete or not efficient?
Right. And
Does that make sense?
Shows that it's a common.
Yeah, because athletes compensate all the time.
Right.
Golfers like us, you know, baseball players, doesn't matter which sport, but if we can make your body more efficient, it makes it less painful when you play, those types of things.
Okay.
That's our goal for you. Let's get you all the way on your side. I'm going to borrow this leg. We're going to do the same 2 tests. You go and relax it for me. You're good at relaxing. You must think I'm strong. That's good. Okay, so a little tight coming back, so this is in line with you. If we drop it, it doesn't want to drop. Do you feel that?
Yep.
So if we go forward, it's going to drop. So again, that's just a bony block that tells me, hey, your hip can't move sideways when it's in line with your body. Okay, so your pelvis is tilted forward on this side as well. Take this leg back. And you're a little stiffer in this hip in general. Do you feel that?
Yes.
So try to hold your leg here.
Okay. Yep. It's already
And do
working
you
hard.
feel how much you're tightening this?
Yeah.
So what I'm
And
looking at
it's
is the
grabbing
areas
all the way
you
through
hurt.
here.
You hurt here, and you hurt here, and you hurt here.
Right.
So all that could be compensation from not using this area properly.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna do one more test. I call this the on your lower body. This is your lower body core stability test. So pelvis stability. What this is called here, we call it the pretzel test. Okay.
All right.
So what we're gonna do is see how well you use Suzanne Summers' muscle.
Okay. And she's gone.
I know. I just saw that. Was that yesterday? or-
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so left leg up on my shoulder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your pelvis and we're going to turn it slightly to the right. Good. Okay, now keep your left leg straight. Step 1 is you have to move your ankle bone to your left knee, your right ankle to your left knee. Okay, so you're at a 1 out of 5 right now, Steve, okay?
Okay.
So without twisting your hips or lifting your hips, you just have to pick your right knee up off the table. Feel how hard that is?
Yes.
What muscles did you try to use to pick that up?
Up here in the hip.
Okay.
And this was pulling, trying to give me leverage to help.
Yeah. Now try it again, and what I see and Dr. Brenton sees is you tightening up your neck.
Yes.
And your back.
Yes.
So areas you have trouble with are overworking because this area is underworking.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
It does.
So I was like this, like if LeBron played basketball with us, he'd be the one getting tired because he'd be doing all the work.
Yeah.
Right? That's some of these muscles in your body. Now we could just give him better players and he wouldn't get worn out so quick.
Right.
Okay, so let's lie on the other side.
Makes sense.
I mean, I used to halfway be decent at basketball, but not that good, right?
I played basketball like the guy on, what was that show where he's chucking it up?
Yeah, yeah.
With
Left hand under your head just for stability.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. Right leg on my shoulder. Turn this hip forward for me.
Along came Paulie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what's it? Who's it?
It's
Is
got
that
Ben Stiller and the
Yeah.
other guy just chucking it up.
That's funny. All right, this foot comes up. Now that's already harder for you to do.
Yes,
right?
it
so
is.
Keep your right knee straight. So straighten your right knee out. Good. Keep this hip forward and try to pick your left knee up. You really can't do it.
Nope.
Okay, so you get a 1 out of 5. Now again, with the pros I saw, 12 of them didn't pass that test out of 12. So this is an efficiency test, okay? So that tells me right now if I'm trying to use my inner thigh, which would be any activity where I'm rotating, you're having trouble stabilizing with that muscle.
Okay.
So think about that standing reach test we did. As you reached across, you went to the outside of your foot. So that might be you're not stabilizing well with this muscle.
Okay.
Does that kind of
That-
make sense?
that's
So I'm
perfect
just
sense.
reproducing that on a table and making sure I'm not able to use that muscle efficiently, or is it just a balance issue?
Makes perfect
Okay.
sense.
So now let's lay on your back and let's do a couple arm mobility tests. This is just, we need to know, do you have enough range of motion for your golf swing?
Okay.
Lie that way for me a little bit. I'm gonna take this arm and we're gonna drop it to the table and rotate it backwards. You need at least 90 degrees, which you have. Okay, and then we're gonna go this direction. Now, do you notice this is a little tight?
Yes.
So this should go 80 degrees. You're at about 30. I have a measuring device, but now if you want to go farther than that, go ahead and do it for me. You notice how you're trying to use this muscle.
Yep, and I can feel it coming up here too now.
So we're starting at 30 degrees. You need 80 for normal. Okay. Now slide off to the edge of the table. We're gonna see how tight your chest muscle is. So one more good scoop. Pretty tight.
Yes.
So this should go 45, like 30 is the minimum, but you're in the 20 range. Okay. Again, I can eyeball these pretty easily, but this should go at least twice as far, if not 3 times farther. Now, that matters because if you put your hand here and I put my right hand on you and I turn, see how I can turn my chest away from that arm?
Right.
That's called rotation. So you need to be able to separate your arm from your chest in golf. Okay, so that's one test for that. Now let's check your other side. Is it okay that I'm explaining it all as we go?
No, 100%.
That's kind of how I do things. I think out loud. Yeah, at least 90. That's great. And we've noticed on, like just me watching your golf swing on YouTube videos, you've got plenty of range in your backswing and plenty of range in your arms. And that's a lot because you have plenty of extra rotation.
That way? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now, slide this arm off the edge. Let's just check. Again, I don't think we're going to get very far, Steve. So probably,
I can already feel it pulling.
Probably 20 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Now, slide to the middle. Let's bring the camera over and I'm gonna look at your rib cage here.
Okay.
Okay, so if you put your hands on your ribs yourself. We talked about this a little bit, I think off camera probably, but if I'm in the rib cage that's coming forward, like yours is up in the air, that actually tightens muscles in my back. And if my ribs go up, my pelvis can go forward. So one of the areas most people have a lot of tension that nobody ever talks about is right here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just look at the angle here, so just let your hands rest by your side. So you got that pretty well, Brenton. So you can see how wide the rib cage angles are here. So I'm giving you this is where you are.
Yeah.
This is where we wanna be.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna come around on the right side first and do a little compression test here. Okay, so let me come around on the swap sides. I'm gonna go ahead and have you bend your knees for this so your low back's flat. So the way this test works is as you breathe in and out, I'm gonna compress your ribs down and in, and I'm gonna hold them there as you breathe. The reason I check for this is because rotation happens around your rib cage. So if I wanna rotate, one rib has to go down on one side while the other one goes up.
Okay.
So if neither side goes down, the way you have to rotate is more as a cylinder.
Okay.
Okay, so, and I can tell you're stiff just putting my hands on you here. So let's take a nice deep breath in, blow all the way out. Your ribs should go like 3 times farther than that, Steve. I know that feels tight. Breathe in, blow out. So tell me how this feels to you.
It's pushing, I can feel like Charlie horse in the back, in my back.
Now try to take a couple breaths, see if that gets better. I won't push any harder on you right now. I'd say we're about 50% where I need you to go to have full range in your rib cage here. Okay, so difficulty level on that or tension level, would you say it's high, medium?
I'd say it's like in between medium and high.
Yeah, and I could have gone more, but I'm being nice to you today.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the other side. Yeah, all right, nice deep breath in. Blow all the way out. Good, same idea here. We're gonna try to breathe. 2 more deep inhales. Now the other thing I notice is when you inhale, more air comes down to this part of your body than up to your chest. So I'd like to see you fill your right chest with air. So what pattern you have with breathing is a very like rib cage moving forward and up when you inhale.
Okay.
Again, that can actually create tension in your body. So I'm going to use an analogy here. I'm going to grab a little bottle here. Okay, so sit up for me. Let's do this in sitting so you can kind of see this. All right, so if I take this screw top, right, think about the bottom of this as your pelvis and the top of this is your rib cage. If I line those two up parallel to each other, I can screw this back on or undo. So now I've got rotation.
Right.
Right now, your pelvis is tilted too far forward. And your rib cage is tilted too high. So how am I going to rotate these two things? So from the camera's perspective, look at where the pressure is in the low back.
Right.
So now I'm going to rotate around the low back too much and not enough around the front of my body.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So our biggest parking brake, if I give you one, is that you're out of alignment there, causing your other parts of your body to overwork. That's partly why your pretzel test wasn't great, is more because you're out of alignment.
I agree, and that's, whenever I've gone to a chiropractor, that's one of the first things they say is my hips are out of alignment, especially the right side. And I ask, why is the pain happening on my left so much?
Yeah.
Is it compensation? And
pain will present itself in different places for different individuals.
Okay.
So what I look at is if you came in with, like Dr. Brent and I would talk about this too, is if you came in for plantar fasciitis, I'm looking at that as that's where you hurt. That's an area you're overworking. What's underworking?
Okay.
So we can treat the area of symptom, but in reality we have to see where do you need to work. Now, a lot of times a strength program does that. If we just found these weaknesses with you, because this would be a screen I do on regular adults here that aren't coming to me for PT, we find these little areas, we work them in the strength program and they get better. So there's different levels of what people need to get better. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple simple exercises before we do the other part of the screen. Okay.
All right, Matt, we were just talking before we got into this segment about, you'd mentioned fight or flight, and I told you guys that I've been kind of in a fight or flight since the end of May. I had a little stress, deciding I was going to stop coaching high school golf, and it sent me even into October now. I'm slowly starting to get better, but I think that's where, just from what we're talking, a lot of my pain and the bad side of the mental health, meaning I'm not motivated to work out, is coming from. I got into that autoimmune response. My body was aching, and I think it's just caused a lot of issues. So I'm excited to see what we can do to maybe you can touch on what I just talked about as well.
Yeah, definitely. So when we look at the pattern you're in, rib cage up, pelvis forward, like I explained, that actually compresses your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight.
Okay.
That's actually housed in your mid back. So when we're in extension, we're more alert. So that's why military called that stand at attention.
Okay.
So I don't move, I'm at attention. It keeps alertness high. When you're in a scenario where you're either hurt or mentally having difficulty, you're going to go into that fight or flight response. So it usually makes it difficult to sleep, difficult to shut your brain off.
Yep.
It creates more inflammation in joints because cortisol levels are high. So you have all these factors that go in. So part of what we're going to do next, because you as a client, this is not the same for every person. I don't do the same thing with every client. But what I noticed right now on this assessment, before we can even move forward, I want to teach your body how to get into a more neutral, parasympathetic driven state.
Okay.
That side of the equation. So we're going to use the dumbbell for your diaphragm. Okay, this is a balloon. When's the last time you blew one up?
Oh, it's been a while.
Were you good at it?
I think I struggled, if I remember right.
Yeah. So we're going to do this lying down so you can kind of sense some things here,
okay?
So you're going to lie on your back. You're going to put your feet up on the wall like if you were sitting in a chair. So you're 90-90.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just get you there because I can explain this to you. You're a quick learner, I know. So get a little bit closer. So I want this parallel to the wall. Good. Now, we've already pre-flattened your low back.
Right.
You agree with that. Now I'm going to give you the balloon in your left hand. I'm not going to explain how to do it yet, but I want you to put 3 breaths of air in that balloon like you're filling it up for like your son's birthday.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see it.
So just as
go
much
ahead
as
and
I
blow
can.
it up. Yep. Good. Good job. So tell me what you noticed doing that. What'd you feel? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, the first breath, I didn't really notice anything, but as I took a deeper breath and I pushed, I noticed kind of my left side lifting up to kind of compensate. My lower back, I should say, from my scapula down. I could feel it tense up down there. I mean, you couldn't see that. I don't know what you couldn't feel that, obviously, but I didn't know what you could see. So
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what I am still feeling right now.
Yeah. So let the air out of the balloon. Let me explain how to blow up the balloon. Because you blew it up like a fight or flight person.
Okay.
Because I didn't tell you how to breathe in or out, and you did this. You went in through the nose, the first one blew out, then you went the second one.
Right.
Which is fight or flight.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're not going to pinch the balloon and take it out. Okay. I want you to breathe in through your nose, blow it up 3 times, and we'll go through this again. So you can hold on to the balloon, but just go in nose, Blow it up, and then we'll go through a couple more ideas here. Blow, 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 blow. Good. Now think in through the nose. Blow it up. And this hand should feel your ribs are going down when you blow. So breathe in, blow out. Good. So take the balloon out. Tell me what that felt like that time.
I didn't feel the tension.
Good.
The fight or flight like you're talking about.
So nasal breathing is more parasympathetic. So like rest and digest.
Okay.
So if we're in the, that's inhaling through your mouth, that's fight or flight. Okay, think about hyperventilating or running really hard. Okay, we're gonna get into that fight or flight.
Right, and I can relate it to, you know, the initial stages of a house fire when you have the adrenaline running through you, you're breathing hard, and then when you're done, you're still breathing hard.
Yeah.
It's the fight or flight because we've got the cortisol dump from the adrenaline rush of trying, you know, what if someone's trapped or even just fighting a fire. It's just, it's hard to explain, but that's the best way to explain it that I've learned. You explained it just a bit earlier, and so I think that all relates to my symptoms.
Yeah, and that's what we really do here more than any other place is, if we set us apart in our PT department and here, is that we actually focus on fight or flight response with all our patients and clients, because if you're in pain, you have fight or flight response. It's just a normal process.
Okay.
So whether that's pain or some other issues, we tend to see that. So we're gonna actually, I'm gonna teach you how to do this drill correctly now.
Okay.
Okay, so let the air out. I'm gonna give you something to put between your knees, because we need to work your inner thighs a little bit. So don't think of this like something you have to crush, but I'm just gonna put a little ball here. Now before you blow up the balloon, I want you to dig your heels down to lift your tailbone up. Now when you did that, you felt like you kind of shoved yourself away from the wall.
Yeah.
So go ahead and relax everything and let your tailbone come down. Now I want you to think tailbone up, low back into the table. Can you do that? Good. So you feel you flattened, right?
Right.
Do you feel your hamstrings a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, now squeeze the ball and find a little bit of inner thigh, Suzanne Summers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got hamstrings and inner thighs. So you've already taken that bottom of that cup I was showing you and leveled it out.
Okay.
So now what we gotta do is take the top of that cup and level it out. That's the balloon. Okay, so let's put the balloon in your mouth, stay in this position, squeeze, take a deep breath in, blow out. Get the balloon up, 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 up. Now pause for me. Don't breathe in. Don't breathe in. Don't breathe in. Now long breath in through your nose. Blow all the way out. Blow, blow, blow. And from the camera angle, you can see his ribs going down. Good. Now, good. One more breath out. Blow, 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 blow. Now try not to breathe in for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now take a breath in, take the balloon out, and relax. So tell me what that felt like.
Honestly, it felt good because it's like I was doing other things and taking my response away from trying to breathe as much, the fight or flight, I guess, because I was working all the other stuff, and the lower back didn't hurt.
Good.
Because when I lift it up and flatten it, that felt great, and then keeping it that way while doing the breathing, I see what you're saying.
Yep, so you're out of this pattern now, low back, front, and we're putting you into that pattern, neutral. This is a neutral position. Mm-hmm. Your ribs are down, your hips underneath you. If I was that way, I'm in good posture, standing. We just don't have your legs straight.
Right.
Okay. Now what this does is it gets you decompressed in your fight or flight part of your body. So if I'm in this position, I'm compressed in my mid-back fight or flight area. That's where that nervous system is.
Okay.
When I go this way, I'm decompressed. And it opens up those nerve spots. So we can actually, in 3 deep breaths, change a sympathetic, parasympathetic pattern internally. Okay.
So just let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How could I relate that to playing golf? Meaning something I could do out on the course before I swing?
Yep, so you look at sports psychology. You look at sports psychology, they say take a deep breath in and blow it all out. You'll see this with a lot of players when they're in the last part of the tournament. You watch the Masters, someone's in the lead, they go, they're blowing out.
Okay.
Right? You hear, I think Nick Faldo always talked about exhale. And it's a very common thing. If I exhale, I take tension away. If I inhale and hold, I'm tense.
Okay.
So that's why power lifters do inhale and hold, because they're trying to create tension so they can lift the heaviest weight possible.
Okay.
But as a golfer, what we want to do is get our body out of tension so we can move as freely as possible.
Okay. I like
So
it.
think about this like going from compression to neutral. Okay, so let's stand up and do the same idea. We're going to come over to this wall over here. You can let the air out of the balloon. This is the last one we're going to do. How do you feel getting up from that?
Good.
Do you feel different?
I do feel better in the back than even down in the sciatic area.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So did you
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you know that that could affect that?
I didn't.
No, but that's what we do. We kind of want to explain to you that the problem is not your back. It's how you're positioning your body that puts stress on your back, neck, foot.
So even just during the day, not doing anything, just take deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth, would you recommend?
And I teach people how to sit differently to make
Okay.
sure they're in that alignment. We can go through all that like for you individually as we go.
Editing these videos, I sit wrong, so.
There you go. We'll talk about that. Now, if we just stood about, let's make this feel more like I'm upright.
Okay.
So, I mean, we are upright, but more like, how do I get this in the right place when I'm standing?
Okay.
So you're going to go into about 7 to 10 inches from the wall. You're going to go into a little mini squat. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that ball between your knees again. Do you feel your heels on the floor?
They weren't, no.
Okay.
Do you want them on the floor?
Yes.
Okay, now they are.
Because if you're on your toes, you're in fight or flight, like it's forward. Okay.
Okay.
So you want to feel your heels.
And that's probably my habit.
Yeah.
Just my mental, physical habit.
Ready to go. I got to be ready all the
Yeah.
time. Like, I mean, you guys always have to be ready.
I mean, yeah, that
When you're
27 years in this profession, it changes you.
Yeah.
And this is a sign what it does to your body. So this is wonderful.
Yep. Now I'm going to have you feel your heels. Bend your knees a little bit more so you feel your quads some. Like
Yeah.
mild to moderate.
Yeah.
And squeeze the ball a little bit. Now I want you to flatten your low back by tucking your bottom, just like we did on the other exercise. Right? And this is going to stay on the wall. Your hands are going to stay right here. And you're going to put the balloon in your mouth and blow it up. Good. Now blow. Now from the camera angle, that first one, you lifted. So I just want you to stay right here, take a deep breath in and feel your back expand. Blow out, feel this sink. So you should feel more weight going into your legs and your heels. Breath into there, blow out one more time. Good, one more breath in. Take the balloon out, push through your heels and straighten your legs, so slide up the wall. Good, you can take the balloon out. What do you think about that drill?
First one, definitely, I went back to the fight or flight to my toes area.
Yeah.
Second one, I mentally was telling myself, and then I could feel myself get into my heels and everything else felt relaxed.
Perfect.
So as we went, I felt what you're trying to want me to do, and I'm understanding what, I'm always want to be on the go, and it's almost kind of like with the golf swing. I'm always wanting to go try to hit it instead of just, I don't know, being stable and using everything properly and not be that fight or flight. So
Yeah, and that's realistically, you can slide up. Like if you're on the front of your feet, your plantar fascia working too hard.
Okay.
So you being like, I'm ready to go, puts more stress on your ankles, your feet. It doesn't allow you to use your hips properly. So if we're looking at getting you in a neutral alignment right now, so you can rotate for golf more freely through your hips and your chest, which is where we want it to happen, not through your low back, your knees, your feet, kind of those things you talked about. Hey, sometimes I sway a little bit. That back foot, as a lefty, you guys got to see me do it the wrong way, right? But get on the outside of my foot a little bit, I'm in trouble. I can't get back to the ball as efficiently. Okay. So those are a couple little quick tips. So how do you feel body-wise right now? Do you feel looser?
I think this breathing exercise, I'm going to take a balloon on the golf course.
That's right. So let the air out of that. Let's lay on your back and look at a couple of tests we did. Okay. So we're going to look at kind of the tension in your upper body.
Taking that to the golf
Where do you
course.
feel looser at right now?
Right. Like you said, the parasympathetic area, but all right here, and it's helped the sciatic area as well.
Yeah.
So
So who did that? You did it.
well, yes, with your
With a little
guidance,
help, right? But that's the big key is like if you have an area of pain, we can figure out how to help you get out of that. Okay. So let's lay on your back. We're going to look at your arm dropping off the table. Now, this was a trunk
All the way
rotation
over?
test. Yeah.
Okay.
And you tell me if this feels better, worse, or the same.
It feels better.
It's better, not perfect, but it's more. Okay. Now slide to the middle for me. And so this is just me checking, are we moving farther? Actually, slide a little more left. Did I take away some of your tension? A little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm going to have us do then is we're going to go through like our full assessment of the golf next. And we're gonna see what things we found here and how it relates to the TPI screen.
Okay.
Because I can bet what you're not gonna be able to do well on.
Okay.
Okay, that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. All right, so now after working on just trying to get your ribs and pelvis in a good alignment, we're gonna go through the Titleist Performance Institute Level 1 screen. So we've set this up. I'm gonna go, oops, let me go back. So we're gonna do Level 1 screen, you're right-handed, and you can see how it's got 16 different tests.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the test. You're gonna copy me, and I'll correct you if I think you can do it and you just didn't understand like the process. And then what'll end up happening is we'll have red lights, yellow lights, and green lights. So it'll show us where you're inefficient in your golf body. Okay, so then it gives us an idea, like let's say you had 6 red lights and they all relate to your core, which we can kind of guess from the core issues based on where we did. We want to focus our exercise on that area for golf.
Okay.
Not necessarily your general activity, but for that area for golf, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you stand right next to us. So you can come out here in the open and turn and face this way. And what I want you to do is just get in golf posture.
Facing this way?
Yeah, facing that way. Just go ahead and get in regular golf posture, just however you would set up. Good. So I'm just looking at your general alignment. So you have a teeny bit of extra scoop here.
Okay.
So I'd say you're in a little bit of what we call the S posture. Not bad. Okay, if you had to flatten this out, you did it the wrong way, right?
Okay.
Like you're talking about is you're trying to use this, you're not using this, which is what we found on the table.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is test and see if you can actually move here properly. So you're gonna get into golf posture, arms go across your chest, and you're gonna tuck your bottom and untuck your bottom. And what you're trying to do is go back and forth through full range without letting something else move. Does any of that give you pain?
When I go all the way back, yes.
You feel that pressure,
and then
right?
when I tuck it in a little bit, it's less.
Good, so now we're correlating what we saw on the table. When you tuck your bottom, flatten your back, better pain, less pain. When you extend, you get compression.
Right.
Okay? Now you don't have a lot of range of motion there. So
Right.
that's one thing we want to look for is that. And I'm just going to type these in as we go. So you're just limited on range of motion. Okay, so we already have 2 red lights for your spine part, okay?
That's all right, we're gonna learn.
Next test, we're gonna go the same thing. And what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna rotate the pelvis left and right without letting anything else rotate. So I think of this like a steering wheel and your hips have to turn. Good, can you face the wall and do that? Because I want the camera to pick up what I'm seeing. So do the same thing, rotate side to side. So from my angle, I see him using this muscle here too much, low back muscle.
Yep.
Okay, so what I want you to think is go ahead and tuck your bottom a little bit where it felt more comfortable.
Right there.
It's hard to do, isn't it?
It is.
Now I'm gonna stabilize it here and try to rotate. Does that feel easier?
Yes.
Okay, so now I know that you have better range of motion when I stabilize you. It tells me that's more of a core stability issue. Little tight still, but much better. So we're gonna call that limited but improvement with assistance. So that's a yellow light.
Okay.
And you can kind of see this as we go. Now we're going to do the same idea. We're going to get in golf posture, and actually you can face the camera on this one. So we get in golf posture, cross arms, and you're trying to turn your shoulders without turning your hips. This one's the one I'm usually tight in. Good. Now from my perspective, you're moving a little much here, so try not moving there, and you kind of do it automatically, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm going to stabilize you. So go back into the straight position where you're at middle, so kind of straight down, get in golf posture. Okay, I'm going to keep you from turning here, and tell me what you feel now. Just restricted?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you basically, you're lacking flexibility through here, which is what we talked about for the rib cage rotation, okay?
Yeah.
So that'd actually be a limitation. So we're limited, and it didn't really improve a lot, okay, when we did that. Now, we already looked at a squat, and your squat was good, but the test actually has you do it with your arms overhead.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is arms overhead, you gotta do a deep squat, keeping your hands up in the air, head up in the air, and you come back up. And you go a little wider with your feet, just do the best you can. And if it's bothering something, don't do too much. Steve, that's really good, man.
Yeah, that one felt
Here, you get
good.
a high five for that.
Oh, yeah, at least
And you can touch
maybe
toes.
I'll get a green.
Yeah, you got a green on, because I already saw you touch your toes earlier. So you got 2 green lights. Here we go. We're starting to make some progress. Now you're going to face this wall and put your left hand out. And I want you to take that arm and I want you to rotate it as far back as you can. So he's getting past the spine angle, which is nice. Okay, now let's do that on the other side and see what we get here. Again, well past the spine angle. You can kind of see it from the camera here. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to get in golf posture, and you're going to take your left arm outside, and you're going to rotate it back. And I'm going to see if it's the same, different. Does that feel different to you? Tighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's not
when I
quite
get into
as
posture,
good.
yeah.
Yep, now do the other side. And again, I kind of say this a lot to people because you're tighter here. The one thing about the assessment, it's good to know that you can't do that in golf posture, but I'm looking right here and see that scoop in your back and know that's keeping you from rotating.
There we go.
Feel the difference?
I could, once I adjusted, I could put it back a little further.
Yeah, still not as good, but
No.
closer. I know that because your lat muscle, your pull-up muscle, connects to the front of your shoulder and pulls it this way. The other end of that connects to your glute and back. So
Okay.
when you're tight there, you're tight here. So we're seeing more. That's not a shoulder issue, I wouldn't say, because I tested your shoulders already.
Right.
That's why I do the other part of the assessment before I do
Okay.
this, is that I know, hey, you're probably not limited on this because of shoulder range. You're limited because of a postural problem. And for you, that's going to be core problem, okay? Less than standing, perfect. So we got another yellow light. We did the balance test already.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I
Eyes
don't think I did
closed.
good on that one.
Did you get 5 seconds on either side?
No.
No. So you get a red light there too. So far we're halfway done and we've got 3 red lights, 3 yellow lights, and 2 green lights. So it's not bad. Okay. So the next test I like to do is the standing hip rotation test. So you're going to face the camera, and then I'm over here to the side here. And what I'm going to have you do is you're going to put your right foot on the ground first. You're right-handed, so I like to go backswing. Okay? Hands on your hips. Now from here, your right foot has to stay straight, and all you're trying to do is take your belt buckle and turn it as far to the wall as you can that way.
Okay.
And we're looking for 60 degrees, so he doesn't have 60. Okay, so if I put this club across your pelvis, that's not 60 degrees.
No.
Okay, now take that same leg and do your through swing the other way.
Okay. So
you're going to
from
go.
this position?
Yeah, so if I had this here, you're seeing that I can turn more than 60. So you're going to go that way. Now, that's more than 60 or 60 or more.
Okay.
So what you did is you didn't pass what we call internal rotation on your right hip, but you passed external rotation.
Okay.
Now we're going to go left leg. And actually, if you want to, put this across your belt line.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to have you do, that's a good visual for everyone, is you're going to turn into your backswing first.
So I can put my foot out like that?
Yeah, this foot, kind of keep it lightly touched.
But it just moves
spin
with
as
your
you
body?
go. Yeah, because all we're doing is seeing if this
Yeah, I can feel it grab it on that right side. It won't let me go any further.
the good thing is that's over 60.
Okay.
Okay, now try to go through swing with that. Now, you notice how you took the, and on the table you were better here too on that hip. But
Okay.
again, you're just shy of 60 maybe if I put this here, but much better on your through swing than your back swing.
Okay.
When we look at the hip, right? So I'm gonna say the only one you didn't really pass was the backswing side of that. Okay, so backswing right side was limited. Downswing you were good on both.
So again, this is the TPI, Titleist Performance Institute.
Level 1 screen. So
Okay.
the level 1 screen is really mobility, stability, and can you activate a couple muscles?
Okay.
That's basically it. We also have a strength and power one we can go through if we need to.
Okay.
The next thing you do is you're going to sit on this chair for me. Okay, and you're going to slide to the edge of the chair. And I'm actually going to give you this back. What I want you to do is bring your feet and knees together. And you're going to cross your right foot over your left foot first.
Wrong way.
Sorry, I showed the wrong way. I showed the wrong way. You're going to take this behind your shoulders and grab it. And I want you to take your chest and turn it as far to the right as you can. He's got pretty good mobility there. We just want to see more than 45, which you've got. Now, all I want you to do is I want you to switch your feet and then turn to the left as far as you can. Again, you're getting past 45. So good thing is you can do that. So again, when the standing test, that tells you that's probably more of a core problem than a flexibility problem. Okay. Another green light. You're getting it.
I need the chair to play today.
There you go. Yeah. The good thing about the chair is it takes away that low back tightness. Okay, you're going to stand up.
No chair?
Yeah, no chair. So a neck test we do, I'm just going to stand here and put my thumb on your collarbone. What I want you to do is looking straight ahead, you're going to turn your head to the right and try to touch my thumb with your chin. Is that a little tough to get to?
No.
Okay, so I want you to touch, there you go, good. And then we're gonna do the other side. So you actually have good range there. The reason that's important, because if I had my golf swing, right, most people are like, well, what's that gonna do? Well, if I get to here, my collarbone and chin should be touching. So if I can't do that, then it usually creates a loss of posture issue.
I do notice when I'm editing my videos, I have a little loss of posture at the top.
Yeah. Now
I'll top the ball sometimes, or I'll hit it skinny.
That's more than likely your low back postural stuff than your neck thing.
Okay.
Because now I'm clearing
But
out.
I'm just saying, I see that. So if we're relating it to all of this testing, and you say it's the low back, I agree. It's just, I notice I lift up a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the good lat test, because we need to know if it's a lat test or not. So you see this? We're going to go against the wall. You're going to bring your feet out far enough that you can keep your low back. So you don't have to squat that low. The picture shows it really low. So what we're doing is go ahead and slide up the wall a little bit more. Just come on up. Don't make your legs work too hard. Okay, so right now,
in trouble, am I?
you know, so you should feel like your low back's flat.
Okay.
You agree? Mid to low back.
There we go.
Now from there, you're going to flatten. If you can bring your head to the wall, do it. If you can't, don't worry about it.
Well, just to relate to people, my tendency, I think, is like you said, it's the fight or flight.
Exactly.
I get into that. It's my body's so used to that.
Two reasons that one is culturally, we think that's normal. Chest out, shoulders back. That's not actually anatomically normal.
Yeah, this feels good.
Yeah, so especially being an athlete, most athletes will get here. Like if I watched Andre Agassi play tennis, I wouldn't see him doing this.
Right.
Right? So you gotta have flexion in your body to.
And I don't like twerking, so I'm not
That's right, no twerking, okay? Now, so from here, again, not a leg thing, you're just getting your mid to low back on the wall, arms in front of you, and you're gonna try to take your thumb all the way to the wall without letting your low back come off the wall. And I see a lot of elbow bend. So right about here, try to go up. Where do you feel tight at when you do that? You do that pretty well. Now, the last thing I want to know is, let's start from here. Don't tuck your chin when you do it. So now I know your lat length is probably good.
Okay.
It's more of a core issue on this arm. So let's do the other side, because you can get there. And I think you mentioned earlier, flexibility has always been pretty good, right? You told me that early. So I don't think that it's a lat length issue now is what that tells us.
Okay.
It's a core issue. So everything right now is going right to where we started, okay? And I think I mentioned this to you off cameras. I usually know what I'm gonna get on this based on the other testing. Any wrist injuries? Forearm injuries that are?
I do know, well, nothing that it's a bad injury, but I do know that aches and pains, when I talked about the autoimmune response, all those joints were killing me.
Yeah.
But nothing on the job or...
No fractures, things that hurt. Okay. So what I want to see is, can you roll your palms straight up, so elbows at your side? Good. We're just looking for normal ranges, back down. Like, so not your low back, sorry, turn your hands down. Good. So we're just looking for a normal range, which you have. Now the next thing I want to see is, can you bend your wrist up? So we look for at least 60 degrees, which you have, and wrist down, at least 60, good. Because that's important if you want to create speed and mobility. So you've got plenty of wrist mobility. There's not very many people that don't pass that, but those are 3 more green lights for you. So we're hitting a lot of green lights now.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing, you're on the table on your back. We got one more test. We're gonna see how well if you use your glutes properly. Okay, so you're gonna bend your knees and put your feet flat. You're gonna bring your knees and feet together. You're gonna bring your hands up over your chest. And I want you to do what we call a bridge, yes. So you're gonna push your butt up as high as you can. Good. Now, does that bother anything right now?
My left hamstrings.
Oh, cramping. Okay, so I already got the cramp response. Okay,
Yeah. So is that common?
Yes. So 2 reasons of hamstring cramps. One is it's not getting used a lot, okay, and it's not getting used properly.
Okay.
And most people don't understand what a hamstring does, so I'll explain it right after we're done with the test.
Okay.
I think you'll cramp on both sides probably, okay? So let's go hands up. So lift your bottom up, push your bottom up, straighten your left leg for me, and try to stay in this alignment. Good, just do about 10 seconds. What muscle on the right do you feel right now?
I feel the hamstring at first. Now it's working again harder. And the lower back's not working.
Good, so you felt more hamstring.
Yeah.
So did you feel your butt?
A little bit, but
Not
it's more
much.
of the hamstring.
Yeah. So part of that is we know your glute's not firing correctly right now.
Okay.
Because that should have been an area. I think that is, again, an alignment, a core issue more than anything else. Okay. We saw that on your other test. When your leg went out, you didn't feel your butt that much. You were tense and everything else.
Right.
Okay, so let's switch sides and do the other side. Yeah, straight up, straighten the right leg. Let me know if it cramps again or not.
No, it started to at first, and then it's like,
Good. Go ahead and relax. Did you feel glute or hamstring?
I felt ham
More
at first
hamstring.
right there where it cramped, but then it got into the glute, and I don't know if that's because that's the part that hurts the most.
Yeah.
So,
and I told
the
you
sciatica
beforehand that
problems?
it has to go there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so to also relate, from that car wreck I was in, I have piriformis syndrome.
Uh-huh.
So that left side always gets screwed up. I forgot to mention that earlier.
That's okay. Now, I will tell you there's two things I would say to that, and this is me PT brain starting to talk,
Okay.
and biomechanics brain starting to talk. How long ago was the car accident?
Like 26 years ago.
Okay, so my thought is that muscle had to have healed by now or done something by now. What happens to most people when they're in that extra rotation, you can sit up if you want.
Okay.
I'll explain this to you. When we're in this forward movement position, ribs go up and out, pelvis goes out. We actually wind our external rotators to stabilize. That's your piriformis. So a lot of times people use that muscle to stabilize when they don't have other muscles like their adductors working or their hamstrings working.
Okay.
So remember when you cramped your hamstring?
Right.
Okay, so what does your hamstring do in life for you? What do you think? Good question, right?
That's a good question.
Okay, most people think it bends my knee. Okay, that's our number one thing everybody thinks. But what it does is it holds your pelvis up against gravity. So if I got a hamstring muscle from my sit bone to my lower leg, if it's long and weak, I fall forward. Mm-hmm. Okay, if it's stronger, I can tuck under.
And
what position is your pelvis in too much?
It's in that, and I noticed when we're trying to do this and get me to tuck, I like you just said, I struggle to get there.
Yeah. So if we go back to the two exercises I gave you at the balloon, I put your feet on a wall and told you to tuck your bottom. Mm-hmm. I put you against the wall and told you to tuck your bottom. That's a hamstring activator. So your hamstring is actually what we call passively insufficient. It's too long to tighten efficiently, so then it cramps. Now you could stabilize as you got there, which tells me you're kind of starting to do it well.
Okay.
But if you can't get that hamstring to fire correctly, it's hard to get that drive from the ground that you want to hit the ball as far as possible.
100% or accurate or just anything involved with golf. I mean, you have to be just a superb hand-eye coordination just to even play.
Yeah. So now we do have a power screen I want to take you through. There's a couple things we'll probably skip knowing where you're at with your feet.
Okay.
But we have some medicine ball throws and stuff that we can do, so we'll kind of get ready for that next.
Okay.
Deal?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do 3 medicine ball tosses.
Okay.
In different positions to check your upper body power ability and your torso power ability, like your core.
Okay.
We also have a vertical jump. Again, with your foot history right now, I'm going to skip that just so that we're not causing
Aggravating
irritation.
it.
We can always, as you get better with your feet, we can go back to it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just trying to get some baseline numbers. So I'm going to sit here on the edge of this. I'm lined up. We have 5-yard dashes here on the ground for our sprinting here. The movement here is I'm just going to do a chest pass like I do in basketball, and you're just going to launch it as far as you can in front of you.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to see where it lands. We're going to do about 2 or 3 of these, and then we'll get to our next one, okay?
Okay.
So what I want you to think is, this is 15 feet.
Okay.
We're really looking for roughly 18 to 20 feet.
And it's just the push out, like a
you
basketball
just
pass?
Pushing as hard as you can. You can do a little lean, but I don't want you to come out of the chair,
All right.
off the block. Good. Get you a couple warm-ups and we'll do the real thing here. That was good. That was about 14 feet. Now it's okay for you to have a little bit of that back and forth, because again, this isn't a bad pattern all the time.
Okay.
Okay, so if I want to produce power, sometimes I have to go from extension to flexion.
Okay. Makes
Okay,
sense.
that makes sense? That was a good one. So that was roughly 15. So I'm gonna give you one more chance. You feel good?
Yep.
See if you can beat that line there. Okay, not bad. Okay, so the next one, this one's hard. You can stand up. Now, I picked a 10-pound medicine ball based on your weight. That's how we standardize this.
Okay. So
like a 9-pound ball is their standard. If you were a lighter, I'd probably give you an 8 since we're probably about the same size. I'm about 185. So we're looking at 10-pound ball gives us our power output for our body, okay? So what they did on these tests, they said if you could do 20 feet throws with these two tests and a 20-inch vertical, your ball speed is about 167 PGA Tour average at the time. So you were 15 feet there, so we're a little low. I don't know what your ball speed is.
Well,
like
I just got fit at the PXG store over the winter, and I got the driver up to 106. So
Yeah,
whatever that
good
translates
speed-wise.
to, I think it was like 145, 150 maybe,
Yeah.
but that was after I was loose, but yeah, my average is probably 102, 103.
Yeah, so I did last off season. I tested myself and did all these. I went from 108 to 114
Okay.
on club head speed. So I got my highest ball speed was like 166, I think. So this test we're gonna do is you're gonna get on the floor. Feet have to stay in the same footprint. You're gonna throw the ball as far as you can and sit up.
Okay.
I have you do is just practice, just toss it to me a couple times lightly just so you
Okay.
get the feel of it. Oh, yeah. See how that's hard, isn't
Yeah.
it? Now, does that feel okay to your back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's do like another one of those practice runs. This is a really heavy ball for this. Good. Actually, you're going to do well.
My body adjusted there.
So let's see how far you can throw it now. Same idea. 20 feet's probably around this pole here. Pretty close to where you had the chest pass. Let's do 2 more, up to 2 more. 45-degree angle you want to launch it at. That gives you the best. That's okay.
Just like a javelin
Yeah.
or a shot put, 45 degrees is the best.
We're about 14 feet.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, so a little lower than your chest pass. I'm gonna give you 14 feet.
Okay.
Okay, so not bad. Now, the next test we're gonna do is just a standing shot put. So think about this like your golf swing, right? If I stood here and I loaded and pushed, I'm gonna finish on my back foot turned. Okay, we gotta do this right and left.
Okay.
So you'll do your right first, but I'm left-handed, so I'll show you this way. So you can load as much as you want and throw it, and you're really just focusing on the backhand throwing it, but I'm just gonna launch it as far as I can like that.
From that car wreck, even though during strength test, the left hand doesn't feel weaker to someone, it feels weak to me.
Okay.
Just the way the nerves and the numbness and tingling, so.
Yeah, and I've actually got a grip strength tester. We'll check that.
Okay.
Because that actually matters in the golf swing too. So your goal line is probably getting as close to me here 30 feet away as you can.
Okay, load up just like we would?
Yeah, just as long as your feet stay in the same footprint like in golf, that's all we're looking at. Pretty good.
Okay, I can get further.
Yeah, I know you can.
My wrist, I gotta get the hand position right.
That was good.
There we go.
So that was about 26 feet, 27 feet.
So left side now?
Yep, let's do the other side. Now think about like, again, your elbows can be out a little bit, Steve, so you're like pushing
Okay.
it. Definitely less, right? But let's see if you can get 1 or 2 more. That was 22 feet. Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so right side 27, left side 22, so we got an imbalance in your rotation power. To our average, they do at least 50 kilograms of grip strength.
Okay.
And their lead hand, for you left hand, is actually stronger than their trail hand.
So
Okay, so we were talking about grip strings just a little bit ago. So if I just squeeze this as hard as I can, I got 57.2 kilograms. Okay, so that matters, all right? So let's see what you can get on your right side. So what you do is you grip it, put it by your side, and you can squeeze it as hard as you can. 2 or 3 seconds. Good, and then relax. 45.2 kilograms, okay? So let's see what your other side is.
I'm curious to see.
Yeah, see if we can beat that. Got some knuckle cracks, good.
Yep.
Yeah, 42.2. So you're low on both. So again, like why that matters is because as the leverage of the club is coming down, I'm trying to produce speed. If my hands can't stabilize the the grip end of the club, you won't go as fast. It's like putting a governor on the golf cart.
Right.
Right? You're slowing it down on purpose because you can't hold on to it. So most of the time, grip strength improves with strength training. If I'm holding weights and lifting them, like doing a trap bar deadlift or suitcase carry holds when you're doing your split squats. Well, I actually gain grip strength. It not only helps your leg strength, it'll help you hit the ball farther because of better grip.
Okay.
So
So right now we're going to get some speed numbers for what? What are we going to do here?
we're going to do driver, ball speed, and 7-iron ball speed.
Okay.
And we can get some swing speed as well. We have a GC3. I'm getting hooked up, and I'm going to put some stickers on your clubs just so I can get the data.
Okay. All right, so let's work on some posture stuff. Because right now I'm trying to set up with, under me more.
Yeah, does that feel different to you?
It feels different, but it feels good. I'm not feeling the pain in my back.
Yeah, so immediately you're decompressing your spine doing it the new way.
How's it look?
From this angle, you look good.
Okay.
I'm going to videotape a couple in slow-mo we can look at too. I mean,
But it feels good.
You hit the ball great.
I feel like I'm rotating better.
I mean,
just like everything we talked about earlier.
Again, this reads a little higher in TrackMan, but I know when you were at your PXG fitting, you were around 87, which 86, 87.
Yeah.
This is reading 89.1 on that. Your best was 89.6 on this. So some of that might be, I call it the parking brake effect. You take that parking brake off and your Corvette can go faster.
Right.
Right? Or I've got a PowerPoint I'm working on, and I got a Corolla, sports car, and then a Formula One. And none of us you and I aren't going to be Formula One, but we can go from a Corolla to a sports car and build that engine. But if you put that sports car and you put a parking brake on it and try to drive it, it's not going to work efficiently.
Right.
So that's what we're really working on here.
Okay.
So let's get this. You feel pretty warmed up right now?
Yeah, I feel good.
I'm going to videotape you from the front and the back. We can look at that a little bit, and then we'll try to correlate that to your. So I do have a coaching certification, but I don't liken myself to a Josh Nahm or some of these other great instructors in the city. That's not really my job. I did it to understand the golf swing even more. I'm a one handicap, so I already understand it.
Right.
But in reality, it was more just to help me be able to talk the language I need to with them. My role in the golf industry is helping someone like you be more efficient, so when you go take the lesson, it's easier to make the changes you want.
Right.
That's the way I look at anybody that does fitness in the golf industry.
Well, like you said, so you can understand, but what I think you've already tipped me towards is, and what I've always tried to teach my high school kids, is the fundamentals. And knowing that my posture's wrong, that's a setup thing.
Yeah.
And I already feel more comfortable, even though I needed you to say, yeah, that looks good to me, because it feels weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to that, and so, no.
And a lot of it comes down to, and again, I'll say this because I'm really prideful in how well I do this, is that you can get a TPI screen from anybody in the city. There's a bunch of us around the city that do this, but they don't necessarily understand how to always process that information and give you exercises that you need.
Okay.
And that's what sets people apart on assessment skills. Assessment skills are important so I can identify what the problem is. But you also need someone that's really good at teaching you exercises to undo that problem, and that's sometimes a thing others have had experience with. Because I've seen a lot of people that said, I've had a TPI assessment 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it's like, what you did was different. Well, that's not, because that's not all I do, is that.
Okay.
That's why I call it a golf performance screen.
Okay.
Okay,
I like
that kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
So when I do the video, part of why I mentioned that is because I'm looking at how your body moves on this video. I'm not looking at club path, swing path. Those things are all products of what you're doing with everything else, more than likely.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a face on and down the line. I mean, you got a good move, Steve. Okay, so I like that. Let's look at the down the line. So yes, you feel really rounded.
Yes.
Let's do this to the camera.
Let's show that to the camera, yeah. There,
I'll make sure we see that. Okay, so we're gonna put this up really close at first. So
yeah, right to there.
And then I'm gonna show, like you can see how your back is slightly rounded.
Yeah.
So that's actually you getting into more of a neutral alignment. Because if you look at golfers in the past, they actually rounded a little bit in the mid-back. That keeps us in a flex position so we can use our core.
Because I do remember seeing those old school golfers like that.
Yeah,
so.
Nicholas was in that position. Now, they had hip problems because they swung differently because of the equipment. Now, most good golfers are having back problems because they're in that, what you were in before like that already, if you see where your back is, that's less extended than you were.
Yes.
So that's like, oh, my back feels better.
It does.
I took the parking brake off. Now I can swing more efficiently.
And I feel like I'm rotating better. I'm not swaying to the outside of that foot, which I tend to do, like I mentioned, if I get tired or.
So that setup looks great.
Okay.
So now I'm just gonna flip this through so they can see, and then I'll kind of talk you through it on the camera here. So we're gonna see if we have any loss of posture or anything. I mean, you look pretty good through the ball. You didn't do any area extension, anything. So, and you might be able to take this back to some of your other videos and see, is there a change? Because yeah, the arms get long. You know, that elbows are kind of not separate a little bit, but that's all like coaching stuff. That's not as much the body movement stuff.
Right.
So here's the face on. What I look for on face on is really, are you shifting your weight properly? You're staying on, like you're on the inside of your foot a little bit more, you felt like, and that looks good. You didn't roll to the outside of your foot. And then you're getting posted up over your lead side. So you should be like shoulder, hip, ankle all lined up. You're doing great. The club head is just now passing the hands.
Okay.
So you're moving pretty well. Now again, you get extension right there is normal. Like you're gonna extend on the through swing.
Just because of the brakes aren't.
Well, part of it is what we call triple extension. So if I'm gonna do a jump, I'm gonna go from flexion to extension, right? So that's called power. Producing power is through extension.
Okay.
But if you don't have flexion first, you're not loading the system to unload it efficiently.
Right, so kind of like what George Gankus and Milo Lines are teaching now is because they're like more hunched.
Yeah, Milo's a good example of that because I've watched a lot of his videos and he's baseball background. So he understands like if I'm a hitter, I'm coming in with my core engaged, right? Just like I'm gonna hit somebody hard. I wouldn't do that with my back engaged. So here's actually a good example. You said this. So put your hands out in front and drop the club down. We're gonna do this right here. So hands out in front of you. Okay, so we're gonna do a pushing activity like arm wrestling kind of feel, okay? I want you to lift your rib cage up. Push me. Can't.
No.
You're gonna fall over. So if I'm going this way when I hit a ball, I can't get my efficiency as high because I'm falling away from it.
Hit it skinny or whatever.
So now all you're gonna do is I'm gonna stay in my neutral, you get in that flex position and get your arm straight first and then push me. Like you're way stronger there.
Right.
Because you have the ability to use this. So the power comes through here for you, but it's not a weakness, it's a position issue.
Okay.
You're putting your body in a position that doesn't make it as easy to produce power as if your ribs came down and you went after me.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that's all we're working on right now in your body. Really, you're lucky. You got one big parking brake. I can treat that quickly.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get ball speed. What we get on at 123, that's a great ball speed. Okay, let's do one more with that. You feel pretty warmed up, right?
Yeah.
And let's get our max ball speed, looks like 123, 179 carry right now. Those are pretty normal for you, 180 carry with that?
Yeah, I'd say it's more 175-ish.
Okay.
But again, I've been in wrong positions, don't hit it correctly all the time because again, my body's not working properly.
I mean, I wish it would have been really cool, which you can't go back. Actually, go back to your old setup pattern and hit the ball like you would normally hit it. Just try to do the normal setup pattern before, and let's see what we get.
Clanky.
That strike didn't sound as good either.
89, but I'm telling you, that ball wouldn't have been, it probably would have duck hooked.
Let's see if we get a solid one with that pattern. And the goal is one could be anecdotal. Both of them were heavy though.
Yep. And the ball speed on that first one was 106. This is 100.
So go back to the other pattern, the new one where you feel, because did your back feel more tense there?
Yes.
Okay, so go back to where your back feels less tense, and you've already coached yourself. I don't even have to coach you on this. So go find it. Already better strike.
It's just.
So what that did is it allowed you to unlock the middle of your body. Like go back to that cup example, right?
Right.
We took you from here where your back is tight.
124, by the way.
Oh, 124, look at you. Hey, what's the carry? 180, look at this.
And
You already
everything worked. It felt like it was in positions, even though my swing may not, but go ahead and finish the cup thing.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the cup analogy is the parking brake. So your mid-body, pelvis and ribs are out of alignment, not allowing you to rotate efficiently. So you have to use your back and you have to sway. Now what that does is if you can't get from one side to the other efficiently, your ball striking might be worse. Now that's 3 shots, not 100 shots. So that might over time change.
Right.
But what I'm really looking at is the 2 shots you went to your old pattern, you didn't hit the ball well. Every strike I've heard with the new pattern that you came up with, I didn't have to teach it to you. You just said, I feel like this is better. You're
well,
a good
from what we
self-coach.
talked about with the assessment, and you talking, you know, I got to get the butt under me, and then we just talked about Milo and George Genkas. It's, you know, I've been wondering, you know, how can I relate that? And I was able to by the assessment with the ribs and.
Yeah, you quickly learned it, and you asked this probably off camera, maybe on, I don't remember, but how do I do this on the golf course? And we talked about just exhale.
Yeah.
And then I'm in that pattern where my ribs are down and I'm unlocked and I'm free, right? Versus here, and it becomes more
tight and arm swing.
Yeah, so we don't actually want to work out like power lifters when we work out. Golfers don't. Because power lifters stick their chest out, just like that test we did. They stick their chest out so they can lift as heavy as possible. It's not a functional movement for a golfer. Because if I'm in that position, I can't rotate. Their job is not to rotate. So when you see people doing back squats for golf, and they're in extension, that's actually probably not going to help them as much. I don't think lifting's the problem in golf. Remember when you heard Rory's lifting real heavy and Zalatoris had back surgery. Those guys are all too lifting and probably too much extension if they're taught the old way to lift.
Okay.
So we've got to look at how do we lift and more of what you're working on here.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense?
Makes sense.
You want to see what your driver can do?
Yeah, let's do it. So what'd you ask?
So tell me a little bit about where you've been at swing speed wise with this.
Well, when I got fit at the PXG the last time I've been on a monitor, you know, I played at X Golf since, but I don't remember. If you go back and watch that video, folks, it's a good fitting video, but I think the max I got up to was 106 when she put me in the new Ventus shaft.
Nice.
But I think I'm more around 103.
Okay.
Trying not to go at it hard, but we'll see with the new setup whether it releases some more power.
Yeah, don't go to the old setup. We could do that if we want.
Yeah.
Let's see if the new feel unlocked helps you.
How's that look?
Looks good. The most important thing on that is how does it feel?
It felt wonderful. To release through better.
146 ball.
105.
105 speed. That's the first driver swing of the day. He hasn't warmed up with this club yet. So, and these are Strixon Z Stars. So we were talking off camera, like compression rates matter. So if you want the highest ball speed, a higher compression ball is going to matter.
Okay.
This is kind of like tour soft, like Pro V1 level of compression. So these are pretty good ball speed numbers we want to see. .108. 108. It's pretty good.
I think, I mean, the ball speed was down, but I also felt like I had to save it a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't in position like the first one.
It was a little toey or sounded a little bit
so
not in the center.
Finished on the left side.
But you know, in reality, like there's 2 things we're looking at is contact is one thing, right? So that's you changing a pattern makes it different.
Right.
So contact's going to suffer a teeny bit, but in reality, I think if we hit that 108 with a normal 145 to 1.5 smash, you're over 150 ball speed now.
Okay.
So let's see if we can get one of those. We got 3 more golf balls right now. See if out of these next 3 we can get that.
Felt like I pulled that one.
107, 138 efficiency. Is that tee height about right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
147 ball speed there.
Yeah, only 138 efficiency. So if you get that up to 148, 147, we're cooking.
That felt good. 108. Still 1.39 efficiency.
Well, these balls are a little old too. I've been hitting these a lot. 151 on a not new ball. Like these are probably a year old. You're hitting 151 ball speed. I mean, again, you probably live in the mid 1.4s on a lot of times, don't you? You get 150 very much, or 150 ball speed?
I'd have to go back and watch that video and
yeah, and they have nice new golf balls.
Yeah.
So you go back and look at that smash factor you get, take 108 times that 145. I mean, you're mid 150s.
Okay.
Like actually at 108, you're gonna push 155 to 158 probably.
Okay.
Okay.
And what's that carry? What's it saying? 254 carry. So
yeah, and again with that smash factor going up, like at 108 you can get it out there 270 carry at least. So. Ooh, that was a good one. 108, 141 smash. Yes, I mean if we had a brand new golf ball,
153.
I'd be really excited. That was a 260 carry, 2,500. I mean, your launch numbers are good. So,
but what I feel, especially on that last one, I feel like I was loading it properly with the new. Whereas before, I know I was always supposed to gap the hip and get on that back heel and load it, but I wasn't set up properly. And like you're saying, I don't feel like a fight or flight right now. From what we've talked about, I feel just, and that's what this game does for me. I feel relaxed, and now with a different feel for a setup, man, I think we can only go up from there, and especially when we work the physical part in.
Yeah, if you just learn, you are a great learner. I mean, it's easy for me to teach someone like you right now because you said, I took what I felt on that table. Now, I had to teach you what to feel on the table.
Right.
So you could do it here. But you're good at understanding, like, if I learned it there, I can put it here. So I know you're a good golfer, and that's where good golfers do really well because you can give them one tweak and it's all of a sudden they're significantly changed.
Okay.
Because 3 mile an hour of club head speed is, 3 mile an hour is how many extra yards?
About 10 plus.
Yeah, so then you have one less club into the green. When you look at strokes gained, that's huge.
Right. All right, Matt, what are we showing them?
So I'm showing just the level 1 TPI screen. So on this, you can see how Steve has red lights, yellow lights, and green lights. Again, when we do our exercises, we really want to focus on improving those red lights and turning them into green lights. It also at the top here gives a fitness handicap. So Steve, what's your handicap in golf right now?
2.5 right now, I think.
Do you know what your fitness handicap is, not seeing this?
I haven't seen it, so I'm going to say it's, what's it rated as? How's it do it?
Same thing, lower is better.
Oh, I'd say it's probably, I'm a mid handicapper.
It says 26.
Yeah, up there.
Okay, so you start thinking like on this, like if I can get that from 26 to 2, man, you're going to be a better handicap.
Yeah, it'll be a better handicap, like you said. So.
All right,
Matt, I want to say thanks for contacting me on social media and having me out to your facility here. I've learned a lot, and I hope everybody in this video has learned a lot, especially the people in the Kansas City metro area that might want to get better at golf. Just their profession maybe has caused injuries like my fire department has, and how we can get better just in life. I mean, mental health is a big thing for me, and I think what I learned today with the breathing, the balloon thing, I think it's going to help me at the fire station. I might carry a damn balloon around with me at the fire station. But if not, it's just in through the nose, out through the mouth, because I forgot to do that, especially when you're going through mental health problems like I have. So now I could go on and on, but it was a wonderful experience, and I hope people gather something from this. So thanks for having me out. And then if you want to, whatever you want to say during the closing, feel free.
I would say, knowing you were coming in and reaching out to you, I knew that we could work on helping your body get out of some tension, stress. And you know that from someone that's dealt with the PTSD, like, how do I get out of a compressed, anxious state?
Okay.
And the position of your body can make a difference. So just you understanding that you can be in control of that is powerful. So whether that's going to help you with your golf game, your life, your other factors, like you came here for golf, but we learned about other factors that will help your life as well.
I agree.
And we try to do that with everybody. I don't care if you're a golfer, baseball player, a tennis player, a grandma, a gardener. Like, our whole job here in our facility is to help the individual do what they want to do.
Okay.
And for you, golf is a big part of your life.
Yeah.
And your message, and I wanted to help with that.
I appreciate, that's the mission. Try to bring awareness that anything can help, not just golf. Get in a workout. I know this is going to motivate me to work out. I'll get in touch with you, and let's get me going in the right path, because it's going to help me mentally, knowing that my body, because I know I've worked with other people that have contacted me. We're trying to get things going, because I know physical well-being helps the mental well-being, and we just learned that today with the breathing, and you put me in the right positions with the posture. So I'm excited moving forward, working with you. Is there anything else? How can they contact you guys?
Yeah, what we'll do is, so my email address is on my website. We can actually just put that stuff on social for you.
Yeah.
Because most people just call or text my cell phone. That's my business phone. So I usually give that out. We are in Western Shawnee. The name of our facility is Kansas City Strength and Conditioning. You can look us up. We have 3 or 4 businesses inside of here that operate together.
Okay.
So you have Fine & Chiropractic as the chiropractor, KC Rehab is the physical therapy, and then KCSC, Kansas City Strength and Conditioning, is our performance part of the business.
Okay, what was the chiropractor's first name again?
Dr. Brenton.
Brenton, I didn't want to say it wrong.
No,
I'm probably going to come back out and work with him, maybe work on some nerve issues that I have. We talked about that off camera, so hopefully we can get that done. But I'll post your Instagram account and everything with the description. So
Perfect.
All right,
Sounds
brother.
great.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.